Alright, so I'm back. I put the gasket material on the transmission already. I have my spacer in there already. You guys can see that the red thing. Put the 2 pins. I decided to use two 20mm, so that way I don't have to contend with 1 pin. So my gasket material that I had earlier, it's all dried out and caked up. So I'm actually using this stuff right here, Moto Seal. This is probably my favorite gasket maker. Of all the different gasket makers that I've ever used, this is my favorite one. It's meant for motorcycles, basically. I think it works better than anything else that I've ever tried. So anyway, so this is what I recommend. This is what I always use. I tried a bunch of different types, but this is I always go back to this. Okay, so that's all in there. This is all in here, and all I have to do now is basically just stick it in there. And I have a very light coating, because if you coat both surface, you only need a very light coating. If you only do one surface, you need a little bit more. I don't recommend only doing one surface. I recommend doing both surface. So that's the best thing to do, both surface. That way you know that for sure you have a real seal on both sides. All right, so the dowel pins are lined up. So now I have to put in there, and basically this thing is lined up, so it doesn't really move, right? It doesn't wiggle much. See that? And that's about it. That. Now we could put the bolts and stuff back in. So the CorkSport comes with this little setup right here. So that's 4 bolts. Remember, you put the spacer in, so now you need a longer bolts. You can't use a stock bolt anymore. So there's four washers here. So the washers belong to these 4 bolts right here, and these 3 bolts up here are for these 3. I think I might not need to use them, maybe not, because this is a stock bolt right here, and they're still the same length. So I don't think I need to use these other ones. But I might, but I probably won't though. I might just stick with the original. I mean, there's no, in this case, there really isn't a reason to do that. So if you have a torque wrench, the 4 bolts on the bottom is somewhere between, I think the specification is somewhere between 10 and 15 pounds. And these ones are somewhere between, I believe, 7 and 10 pounds. 7 and 10 for these 3, and these 4 down here are 10 and 15, somewhere in that range. I have a torque wrench, but I actually do not have it out, so I probably won't even be using the torque wrench, because this part is not really critical, so I'm not too concerned about it. But also, so I'm not too concerned about having the exact torque, because I'm just gonna do it by hand. I think personally, I have enough experience and feel by hand that I more or less know where I'm at, pretty close. And even more important than getting the torque range, I think, is making sure that all the bolts are close to itself. Meaning if one is tighter than the other, a lot tighter than the other, they don't so look at my washer here, they won't be on very uniformly. But if you have them torqued evenly, all the pressure is nice and uniform. So those are the 2 things with torquing things down. Those are the 2 main concerns. One is the actual how much torque there is on there, and that is determined by your thread size and thread pitch and all that stuff, and what type of bolts and nuts and they are, what materials, all that stuff. And the other important thing is that they are all the bolts are pretty much even with each other. So I got those in there. These in. And this is basically just go in a star pattern, right? Crisscross pattern. So I feel the thread's not perfectly smooth as I turn this in by hand, and I think that's because there's a little bit of gasket material in the threads. So the gasket material causes a little bit of drag. I can feel that, especially this corner right here. I think I have more gasket material in this corner. I try not to get any gasket material in there, but you know, can't always get completely clean in there. And you see I'm doing a crisscross pattern. I just do initial, just lightly, you know. Right. So from there, pick a corner, and I would do this. You know, I usually do it several times. Kind of get a little bit tighter and tighter each time. You don't want to get to your torque right away. If you do that, it's not a good idea. It doesn't by even pressure. If you slowly get it, it's nice and even pressure. That way, the whatever you're putting in there, hopefully it doesn't distort or warp or anything like that. So that's it. So that's good. All the pressure is pretty much even. I'm good there. Now basically, I just need to put in these shims here. So I need to put these in. I believe the instruction says try it with three first, and see how that feels. And you could go 4, or you know, if you want more resistance, add 4. If you want less resistance, add 3. Or excuse me, take away 1. So basically, you know, start with 3. If you want more resistance, go 4. If you want less resistance, go 2, and even less resistance, go with 1. So I'm gonna start with 3, you know, just like they say. Right. So this is interesting. I'm looking at this. You know, this looks like stainless steel, but I'm not exactly sure. I think it is. Looks like stainless to me. So one side is like this nice smooth finish. That's from the original, because this is cut out from a sheet, right? So this side looks like the original surface from the sheet, but this side here looks like it's been kind of I wouldn't say grounded down, but it's, you know, it's been worked with like a little bit of sandpaper or something like that. So that's kind of interesting. All right, so I'm gonna pick one side. I'm gonna pick the sanded side facing down. So I think that side might be a little bit flatter. So this is, you know, this is machined, so it's pretty flat. So I'll just go with 3. Just like they recommended, go with 3 first, then you could, you know, adjust from there. So that's that. Then you put in your piece here. I don't think there's any, you know, front or back or whatever. They look, as far as I could tell, this thing looks all uniform to me. I'm gonna do it with the CorkSport thing here, facing that way, I guess. Facing forward, and, you know, line up these things. Actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm also gonna add a little bit of grease to that little ball joint of the So I'm gonna add a little bit of grease to that little joint where the two pins here are, right? Where's that what this is here, right here. The factory one, because this is all metal here. The factory one, what these guides are, they're actually plastic. Most everything on the, you know, even the plastic, even this thing piece right here on the factory one is plastic as well. The only one thing that's not plastic on the factory one is I mean, this inner piece is all metal, but you know, the contact points where they touch each other is all plastic. So that's why you don't have that's the reason why you don't have a very mechanical feel with the stock one. So I'm gonna put a little bit of grease in the slots right here, and I'm gonna put a little bit of grease on this material where it cups around the ball. Or actually, I'm just gonna smear it around the ball and the slots. that'll help it because it's, you know, it's pretty new. It's obviously it's not. It needs to break in, soften up a little bit. So hopefully this will help with that. And this grease is also from my Craven Speed kit as well. You know, the CorkSport one didn't come with any extra thing. You need to like kind of supply your own grease and gasket material and dowel pin, which is, you know, for the money, it should have been all included in there. At least that's my thought on it. So that's what I like about Craven Speed more than CorkSport. As a company, I mean, I haven't dealt with CorkSport directly yet, you know, for anything. All I did was just buy a couple of things from them. So I haven't had to like do any type of refund or actually contact them or anything like that. So I don't know how they are as a company, but Craven Speed, I have contacted them when I returned the. If you watch my video, I also had the Craven Speed shift wheel as well. So I actually returned it because the alignment wasn't right for my my specification on this car. So I had to do that, and they were really good about it. You know, communicating with them was real good, real easy. So they have great customer service. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Fantastic customer service. Pretty responsive, you know, pretty quick in returning, getting back to you. All those things. And there's actually a little bit. They actually have a little bit of grease on where the spring is right here. See that? And that definitely needs grease there. So that's already there. I'm not sure what kind of grease they're using. It looks, you know, looks like a white creamy color. It probably has possibly has Teflon or Moly in it. One of those things in it as well, probably. That's what I'm guessing. So I put all this around this ball here. I might put some of it here too as well. The wind's coming in, wind's blowing. There's a storm coming in, I think tonight. It's supposed to be raining all weekend. And today's Tuesday. So it's supposed to be raining all the rest of the week. I think possibly into early next week. So that's what you guys are hearing. You're hearing all that wind. That's basically the tent, because the cars right now is in the tent, parked inside the tent. All right, so that's in there. Let's face the CorkSport logo forward and just basically stick it on like so. Remember, you're lining these slots to the two pins that are in here. It's a pin on each side, right? So just kind of wiggle it and make sure that it's in there, right? So if it's in the slots, this is not gonna wiggle. All right, so you're good there. Hose, line up my hose, screw hose there. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna reuse the stock. Bolts up here, because they're basically the same length as the Craven Speed ones. So no need to. I don't think I need to reuse the I don't think I need to use the Craven Speed one, because they're all the same same length and everything. So it's not like they were it's not like they're longer than the stock ones. So being the same length, they should be fine. So that's my right now this is what, three shims. So I'm at 3 shims. I mean, after you put this in, you could actually don't put the tunnel, the cover and everything back on. Just leave it like so, and you could just test drive it and you know, test drive it just like this, test drive it and see how it feels. You know, drive it around a few miles and see if you like the sensation of it like this or not. If not, then you know, add or remove a shim and see, you know, I just keep on making little adjustments and see how it goes. These, you know, this torque is between I think it was 6 and 10, I think, something like that, or 5 and 10. I think it was 6 and 10, so it wasn't much. So I'm just basically holding my hand here. That should be enough. That should be enough torque for this. Basically just one-handing it. That's good there. That's good there. That's good there. Okay. Okay, so it's all in. Oh, you know what? I totally screwed up. I forgot to put the cover plate, the shifting, the reverse plate on. So right now you can't put it in reverse, or you could put it in reverse, but there's nothing that holds. That's nothing that you know, there's nothing that dropped it down to hold it. So this in there will hold that. So this is the reason why I don't really edit my videos, because you know, I want you guys to see the, you know, little mistakes or little things I forget, because you might, you know, do the same thing, or hopefully I will catch, or you'll catch my mistakes, so you don't make the same mistakes, right? So that's my mistake right there. So let's stick this on. So this thing needs to be this flat side here. See how it's not all round with this flat side? The flat side needs to be on the driver's side, right? Or on the left side. So that's because that's the reverse. That's what holds the reverse in place. Let's see. I actually might use the stock. No, the stock one. Well, you know what? I will use the bolts that it comes with. Looking at these stock bolts here, see the thread doesn't go all the way down to this end here. It's like, it's kind of they made this end open right here, or have no thread. That way you could slip it in easily into the hole. So that spot right there is, you know, that's like a thread or so right there. So that's an extra thread or so that you could potentially have to hold. And this right here is obviously, this with all the stacks and everything, it's actually thicker than this factory. It's actually thicker than the factory setup, I think. I didn't measure it, but just eyeballing it, I think it's a little bit thicker because of all the shims. So I'm gonna use the basically the screws that they came with, because you know that extra little spot right there is like an extra thread or so. So that's the extra holding power right there. Basically less. You know, more of the load is spread out, so that way it's less stress on each thread. So you know, because there's, you know, one or two extra threads, that makes it easier to you know, you're basically spreading the load over more threads, the same load over more threads, so it stresses the threads out less. So yeah, so let's do that. Use the bolts that it came with. So I'm going on almost 20 minutes. So just let me screw this down, and I should be done. I'm gonna go out and, you know, put my shifter knob on and just go on a ride around the block and see how it feels. Okay, so now I could go into reverse, and it could hold. But anyways, So yeah, so that's it. So I'm just gonna leave it like this, put my knob on. I'm gonna drive around, see if 3 shims is good or not. If it's good, I'm gonna leave it. If it's too firm, I'm gonna take one off. If it's too soft, I'm gonna add one on. But anyways, so that's it. That's basically the install right there, and everything else, you know, all this other stuff, you go back in reverse order. All right. So thanks for watching.